Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to The Discerning Gamer. So today we're kicking off a brand new Let's Play style series looking at Combat Mission Red Thunder. It's a war game, capital W, that focuses on making a sort of playable environment out of World War II on the Eastern Front. Specifically in the summer of 1944 during Operation Bagration, which is the largest Soviet offensive of the war that liberated all of the Soviet territory and knocked Romania and Finland out of the war. The developers chose to focus on this time period because it's some of the most balanced and tactically interesting fighting between the Soviet and German forces by their reckoning. This is a proper hardcore war game developed by a really small team of very dedicated specialist guys over at battlefront.com. So it doesn't have AAA graphics, fantastic animations and assets, but what it does have is really good design that tries to take into account the history of the situation and put you more in the seat of somebody operating at company level as a commander during this period of the war. So I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy it. I've recorded it in such a way that I've cut to all the interesting parts and tried to minimize showing you my strategy and my planning and the action, but not all of the kind of tedium in between. So hopefully it gives you a good idea of what went down without being too cumbersome. Right, so we're at the first proper mission for Combat Mission Red Thunder, and this is called the Assault on Hill 124. It's still technically a training mission, as it's a smaller scale engagement than what you'll see in some of the main campaign engagements in terms of the forces and the scope of the mission. However, it's still a nice little run through and will give you some idea of what the game looks like and how the mechanics within the game work. So I thought it would be a good one to start the series off with. So the situation is we're preparing for an assault on the village with our forward elements, and to do that we've got to capture a fortified German outpost on the northeast of the village. That's our final objective. It's labelled Hill 124, and the high ground oversees the road that our vehicles have got to use to approach the village. So the objective obviously is to capture the hill, knock out the German defences and make sure we don't lose too much in the process. We've got one platoon of Soviet Guard infantry, reinforced by machine gun platoons, 2 scout teams, and 2 BA-64 armoured cars. 10 minutes into the mission, crucially, we're going to receive a platoon of T-34 tanks, which will be 3 of those guys, and they're what's going to enable us to actually take the hill in a sensible fashion. We don't actually know what the Germans have got on the hill, just that they've got a trench network established up there, and that there are anti-tank guns covering the road. So the plan, if we go to the tactical map, is to establish our machine guns, spotters, snipers, etc. in a base of fire here to put fire up onto the hill, and then we're going to manoeuvre our attacking infantry through this dense foliage until we've got a short gap to actually run up onto the hill and then get into the German trench line. Let's look at our initial disposition here. We've got our scout teams, which are both under the 1st Company HQ, which is Chebakov. He also has a sniper team attached to him, which is Nefyodov. We've got our machine gun platoon over here with the HQ Yakovsky and Ulshatev in 2nd team, and Nizhegorодtsev in 1st team. Sorry, I probably butchered their names, but we're just going to have to persevere. Now, our assault team actually has a sniper attached to it, Voronov. 1st Platoon HQ's led by Vostrok Kopyatov, and 2nd and 3rd squads are Shukin and Revyakin, respectively. So I'm quite happy with how we're deployed at the moment. The only thing I'm going to do is move my armoured cars up onto the flanks slightly. And then I'm just going to start making some plans for how we're going to move in the initial phase of the battle. Now, I'm pretty sure that this base of fire is clear. We've got loads of men observing it. I don't think we could be hiding crowds in there. I'm slightly worried about what's going to be in this area over here. And obviously, our intel tells us trench network and German contacts there, with some sort of German contact, possibly back here with an anti-tank gun covering the road. So that's a pretty good look at our initial plans, just moving the first elements so that they're ready to move into the trees while the scout elements move slowly through the trees and get eyes on the hill without hopefully firing at anything and giving away our position. I should just take a moment to mention at this point that the game operates on a we go turn-based system. So basically, you can give as many orders as you like, and then you end your turn, and it simultaneously plays out the orders that you've given to your men and that the opposition has given to theirs over the course of a minute. So you see the battle proceed minute by minute, and during that minute, you can only watch the action unfold. You are unable to adjust orders or change the course of events, and so it does develop a nice kind of tension, a bit like XCOM in that respect, and then you can readjust after each minute and alter your orders or reassign them if they get ignored, because of course your men will react intelligently or based on how stressed out they are or something like that. Good comrades taking the field initially, running up to the tree line, making quick work of it. Got our men moving through the forest here. If they were looking, you'd have to be pretty eagle-eyed to know anyone was sneaking up on you. There's one of our guys moving up. And that's all we want them to do for now. And actually, look, they have spotted it. We've got some contacts. So it looks like this has all been spotted by our one scout team over here, and they haven't received any fire yet. Our other two are just getting into position at the moment. Now, what's great here is our sniper team under Voronov. Oh, shit, they're receiving fire. They've spotted the machine gun position there, and it's pinned them. That's really unfortunate. So though they're moving slowly, it doesn't look like they're getting accurate fire, but they have definitely been spotted. What we could do potentially, and this is a risk, but I think we need to, is let's cancel this out and give a target command on this sniper to take out that machine gun team. And just see if we can get their heads down while the other team pulls back. And I think once they have pulled back, we'll just ask them to pause where they are for a second. Not a whole minute, maybe. Let's say 30 seconds. Just to catch their breath and feel a bit better about it, hopefully escaping with their lives. And then we can ask them to perhaps slowly move up to here and just see what they can see. So let's see how our sniper team gets on under this fire. I am definitely concerned for their lives. Fire's continuing. It's not accurate. It's just scattered suppressive fire. And we see our sniper is putting some fire on them, hopefully getting them to duck their heads. Accurate as time goes by. He's returned fire. Doesn't look super accurate. It's not pinning our sniper team just yet. Oh, God! That's it. They've just knocked out somebody on the machine gun. They should be starting to feel it now. And as I'd hoped, it's allowed our other sniper team to move backwards. However, the second sniper team is now pinned. We're about 4 minutes into the mission now. We'll be 5 minutes in, so halfway to our tank support coming in. Right, the spotter in the other sniper team is just taking a hit. But the German gun team here is starting to receive its own casualties, which is great. First machine gun's deploying, second machine gun's deployed. That's really good. because we're actually returning fire now, I think what we're going to do is start assaulting across this gap here. So, first move we make will be in that deep with 3rd squad, and 2nd squad under Shukin can assault over to here, and then we'll see what they see once they're actually in there. And I think what we'll do as well is just cautiously move our scout car up to here and just have him face into the corner so that he can hopefully provide some support with his machine gun if they do come under any fire. Yeah, that's really nice. Our right-hand machine gun team here is beginning to open fire on whatever was suppressing Voronov over here. And that's going to take the pressure off him and allow him to return fire accurately on this guy, who it looks like he's a light machine gunner of some sort. Yeah, he's well and truly suppressed, which is great. Looks like this machine gun team has been entirely forced off now out of that position, which is great. I'd say we're pretty close to getting fire superiority. Worth noticing that there is a couple of Panzerfausts up there. Really got to be careful because they will puncture a T-34, but we don't want to be getting too close to the hill. They've 2nd squad have crossed the first leg. They've got their base of fire established, and they're beginning to leapfrog over. Scout team here is just advancing slowly through the brush, trying to get some eyes on that anti-tank gun and the machine gun position that we had down on the right here. The assault teams are continuing to move forwards. No contact so far, so that's nice and tidy. Machine gun teams are just earning their pay here, doing exactly what they need to, suppressing the whole of that hilltop along the top. Armoured car moving through the forest to cut off any retreating Germans and suppress that top bit of the trench while we assault. Other armoured car is simply moving to cover our easternmost flank. Scout team's getting into position. Assault team moving to clear this whole section of foliage. And they're having their flank covered by 2nd squad, who are just moving to make sure there's nothing in this volume here, whilst 1st platoon HQ moves up behind them. Our assault teams, oh jeez. So 2nd squad's leader has just been taken as a casualty, leading from the front. Probably actually not a great idea. Let's see what's happening. They haven't spotted who's firing at them yet. It looks like it's a German scout observer team. Got some grenades onto them there. They're taking a lot of fire. They've both been eliminated, but really, really annoying to lose 2nd squad's leader, who's now been replaced by Kramtsov. That it has been 10 minutes, so our T-34s have arrived. And that's just great news, because by the time we've got them positioned, the assault team will be ready to cross this breach here, and it's under the guns of the T-34s that they're going to do that in a safe fashion. Let's get a nice view of the tanks rolling out here. Position we've asked them to move quick, so we'll be deploying fairly rapidly to the positions we've asked, while they're getting to where we need them to be. Check back in with our assault teams, and they've got some sort of contact in front of them. Obviously they've come into contact with Germans in these woods and knocked out some of them. I think if it's just light scout element, it's more than likely that they've been forced off. They really are putting these Germans away. It's just light scout elements. They really can't stand up to an entire fully kitted out assault squad. Finally, looks like we've seen the anti-tank gun over here, which is exactly what I wanted. I need to snipe him or do something to get rid of him. Ted's communist zeal knows no bounds. He is absolutely chomping at the bit to see these Germans positions attacked on this hill. This German scout team's retreating, but second squad's in hot pursuit, looking to get some revenge for the death of their squad leader. Right, looks like we're taking some fire from up on the hill there. Right, the anti-tank gun over here on the right has just opened up on the scout team, perhaps. Yeah, they've definitely spotted them. While the assault takes place over here. Like a fairly relaxed affair, but I'm sure when we're actually on top of the hill it's not going to look so nice. Some suppressing fire on that anti-tank gun position. Should have done that while my scout team was still alive. Annoyed that they lost their lives. I wasn't thinking straight. Never mind. I mean, it's looking pretty dire for that anti-tank gun. Now we should have a direct line of fire on it. I mean, if that gun isn't destroyed now, I don't know what's going to do. Jesus Christ, they've returned fire, penetrated the lower hull and taken out the driver and the assistant. That anti-tank gun team, they all need the Iron Cross. So third squad are now in position at the base of the hill. They've taken those initial trenches, and the rest of second squad are now just about to breach the top of the hill. So I'm expecting to see a lot of dead Germans up here. Oh, actually, elements of second squad are already at the top of the hill. It looks like anyone that was up there has been driven off. They've spotted some Germans down the left there. So now they've got the foothold, I can move third squad up to support them for sure. Another casualty from second squad there. I mean, taking a hill, fortified trench position, you're going to take casualties. It's unfortunate, but it's just a reality. They're pretty much pinned by the fire that they're taking up there now. Nice, our scout car's doing what we hoped it would and suppressing. So it's this team here. It's actually the Hilltop's commander that had been inflicting all those casualties onto second squad. And more pretty effective. I'm pretty happy with this position we've managed to achieve on the scout car, being very effective at suppressing movements on this side of the hill. Got a lot more men moving up to the trench finally. And despite nearly a third of the men in second squad being dead, looks like they're giving a good account of themselves on the assault. They want revenge for their comrades. Our scout team's just moving through these positions here. You can see they've discovered some dead Germans from earlier in the engagement. They're just cautiously moving through. First one that we neutralised. And here we've actually got some surrenders. There goes the commander. And you can see that there's a good number of Germans that have decided that the fatherland is not going to be victorious this day, and that perhaps 15 years in a gulag is preferable to some hot Soviet lead in the face. Many more surrendering down there. Very unfortunate for them that their comrades are deciding to fight on and putting them in the line of fire. The anti-tank gun here looks like it's been abandoned or potentially knocked out. There's a lot of fire in the ground from where the tanks were blazing away at it, and it also looks like I see. Here's the last crewman who abandoned his gun, and perhaps he did that after getting a shot on the T-34, and when the scout team were moving in on him, they probably thought he'd earned his Iron Cross, which I think he bloody well did. It's like earlier in the mission, our base of fire have pretty much cleared out everything on this side of the trench, and third squad are having a really easy time of it, so they're just deciding to take some pot shots at this bugger who's taken out their tank crew comrades. And yeah, the rest of the Germans are they've definitely scarpered. They've either surrendered down here, a lot of captured Germans here, or they've decided that no, they're gonna run back, see if they can get some support. Maybe they've realised that there's so many of their comrades left over that they can make something of it, but well, look who's inside their own trench line. It's the Red Army. I would scarper off if I were you, Reds. Taking some fire from another abandoned anti-tank gun crew here. They're about to have an unpleasant surprise when the scout team meets them. Do you know what? I think we could even bring up one of our tanks here just to help beat the enemy off. That sounded wrong. But just to help cement victory, shall we say. That sounds more professional and military. So there we are. Victory on the assault of Hill 124. And I think we've made a pretty good account for ourselves there. We have got 6 men wounded, 7 men killed, for a total of 25 German dead, 16 wounded, 11 men missing. And unfortunately we did lose one of our scout cars as well, but they've surrendered and we have taken control of the hills. So there you have it, guys. That was the first episode from the Combat Mission Red Thunder playthrough. I hope you like the way it was edited. It's a new technique I'm trying, so please give me some feedback. If you'd like it to be longer and talking more through the entire process, or perhaps a bit shorter and snappier and focusing on the action, that can be arranged. Let me know in the comments down below, or likewise there's going to be a link to my Discord, so hop in there and we can chat about it that way. If you'd like to see the rest of the series, guys, subscribe, leave a like, support the channel. It's all very much appreciated, as always. Until next time.